The story of Hillary Rodham Clinton is the story of an ambitious, power-hungry woman. She has been carefully plotting her political career for decades, and she and her husband form one of the most ruthless political teams that America has ever seen. The youth minister at the local Methodist church gave Hillary a subscription to Motive as a high school graduation present. In it were printed 4-letter words so vulgar that they cannot be repeated in this documentary. Photo features included a birthday card for Ho Chi Minh and a picture of a pretty co-ed with an LSD tablet on her tongue. Convicted cop killer Huey Newton was lauded as a victim and a visionary. Motive espoused highly publicized left-wing ideology which favored Cuba, socialism, the Black Panthers, obscene and vulgar language, and anti-American ideology. In 1972, the last year of its publication, Motive dedicated an entire issue to a radical feminist theme, which emphasized the need to destroy, quote, our sexist, racist, capitalist, imperialist system, unquote. In a 1994 interview with Newsweek, more than 2 decades after Motive folded, Hillary proudly stated, quote, I still have every issue they sent me, unquote. New York Senator Patrick Moynihan once told friends that the person he disliked the most in the Clinton administration was Hillary Rodham Clinton. On a number of occasions, he had caught Hillary lying. For instance, she once told reporters that Moynihan had held hearings on her health care plan, when in fact he had held 30 such meetings. After Hillary announced her intentions to run for the Senate, she paid a visit to the Moynihans in order to obtain their support. After discussing a number of issues, Pat Moynihan had had enough. He got up and went to an adjoining room and waited for Hillary to leave. He later stated that he could not stand listening to Hillary avoid giving direct and honest answers. Liz Moynihan later said, quote, she would say or do anything that would forward her ambitions. She can look you straight in the eye and lie to you. Lying isn't a sufficient word. It's a distortion, distorting the truth to fit the case, unquote. On one occasion, Bill Clinton invited former President Richard Nixon to the White House. Later, Nixon wrote of that day, quote, after a while, Chelsea joined the group. She ran right to Clinton and never once looked at her mother. I could see that she had a warm relationship with him, but was almost afraid of her mother. Hillary slid along the sofa to be closer to her daughter, and the young girl jerked her arm away from her mother. Hillary is ice cold. You can see it in her eyes. Hillary inspires fear, unquote. And Brad DeLong, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Treasury during the first Clinton administration, stated that Hillary Rodham Clinton needs to be kept very far away from the White House for the rest of her life. The leftist New York Observer, who had defended the Clintons through thick and thin, wrote, quote, it is clear that we have made a terrible mistake, for Hillary Rodham Clinton is unfit for elective office. Had she any shame, she would resign, unquote. The Clintons have applied their considerable skills to survive a series of scandals that would have paralyzed any ordinary politician and probably would have finished them off. But there is little evidence that their skills were used to benefit the American public. In her book, The Final Days, Barbara Olson wrote, it all comes down to character. Here, the gauge rests firmly on empty. According to their friends and supporters, they are cheats, users, liars, and greedy. The American public knew that the Clintons were snakes when they took them in. They cannot complain when the snakes turn out to bite.